Hi, welcome back to Northern Rails 44. In this episode I'm going to build a bombed out chapel. Originally it was going to be just an old derelict chapel up on the hill, but I decided to change it halfway through into a bomb what strayed from obviously a German bomber. This is actually what I've built, but I'm going to show you a step by step on what I actually used and well, the products that I used. So hopefully you'll enjoy, hopefully you'll agree it turned out well. Any comments will be appreciated, so let's see how it goes. Cheers. So as you can see, I've got the initial sizes cut out. So I've got two sides, a back and a front. Now obviously they're not going to stay this shape. I want to cut sections out as if it's all just fallen down. Obviously I'm going to put a door in and a window in here, a couple of windows in here, and the same on the other side. Nothing on the back. I'll keep that, well, there'll be no windows in it, but it will be crumbling. I'll now get started on cutting the doors out. So I'll actually cut the front door out now. Front door. One window. Not straightforward doing the curves. Did try the Dremel but on a scrap piece, but it does actually melt it. I just thought I could have got away with it. Now mark the windows out. 2 on each side. And as I say, the back I'm not going to do. So we'll get on with cutting one of these out now. Okie dokie. Right, well that was a task and a half trying to get them out and shape them. And as you can see, they're not all bang on uniform, but again, as I said, we don't need to do. So I think now at this stage I'm going to start bashing and breaking the, before I actually put them together, I'm going to start cutting out sections so where we can see it's crumbled. Yeah, I don't know how easy or straightforward that's going to be, cutting this, because again I can't really do it with the Dremel because it melts it. That would have been the best option, but we'll have a go and we'll see what we can do. Okay, change of plan. Right, so I did use the Dremel. Last time I used it on this I was going from behind, so I've now obviously gone from the front face and basically cut pieces out. As you can see, that's focusing, and then I've just softened the corners off with a little bit of sandpaper. So I'll carry on now with all the other sections. Okay, so I've now marked this out to cut out with the Dremel, so let's see how it actually performs. So I actually softened the edges up then of the stone because obviously it just wouldn't be square. So as of yet, I've got this side done. and this one. So yeah, looking quite effective at the minute. Long way to go. I might just try them all now in place and see how they look, and see if I need to fiddle and twiddle about with any more of it. Okay, right, I've now done all the cutting out, and yeah, it's looking all right. I've actually stuck myself a little base in just to give it a little bit of rigidity, because you're never going to see any of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and attempt to render the walls inside. I'm going to do that. I'm going to probably, well, I've already roughed the walls up a little bit with sandpaper, so I'll probably just perhaps use a little bit of plaster Paris now and see if that adheres to it. I'm sure it will. I'm sure I'll get it to stick. Probably just mix a little bit of PVA with it, just to give it a little bit more strength, and you know, hopefully it'll stick to it then. I've mixed some plaster Paris, and I'm just going to give it a shot and see how it goes inside. Probably potentially a little bit messy, but the good thing is you can always rub it down. I think it was probably best that I sanded it back and roughed the inside up a little bit. Most certainly helping it to stay on and not drag. That was my concern, that it was going to drag. It's looking all right now, as rough as it's, you know, looking rough. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it like that, but yeah, I don't think for 1 minute we need it smooth. You know, it's rotted, it's decayed, plasters fell off, or yeah, whatever. So anyway, I'll crack on with that and get that done, and then we'll let it dry, and hopefully we're back then to start looking at putting some paint on. Okay, so on to painting. So I've actually done the inside already. Obviously I waited for the plaster Paris to dry, roughed it up a little bit. Yeah, I think it's quite effective actually. Obviously it's going to tone down as well. I'm going to tone it all down and put darker colours with it. Anyway, so what I used for that was the wood modeler with a mix of model colour, the natural wood grain. Just mix them together with a bit of acrylic thinners so it's soaked in. Right, onto the outside. Yeah, I've been playing about with colours. So what I've come up with, I've done some test pieces. So I've mixed some yellow ochre, some buff titanium, a little bit of terracotta, and one small amount of flat green. Not too much of that. So what I'm actually going to do now, I've mixed it up, and I'm going to basically dry brush it onto the stonework, and then obviously when that's dried, then I'll put a really watered down, well, thinned down mixture for the cement. And I've actually I'm using for the cement, because I've tried it, I'm using the colour what I've used for internally, which is the wood and natural wood mixed together. I think that's pretty good for the cement. So we'll go ahead with trying to get some of this on now, just dry brush. The good thing is with this is that if you make a mess of it, you can get it off because it is only acrylic. And again, everybody's going to use different colours. It's not set in stone, excuse the pun. So that's not bad for a base coat. I'm going to leave it there now and leave it to dry, and come back and get some of the graining into the cement. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work out now what I'm going to use for the roof trusses, what I've caved in. I've got a few options, so get my thinking cap on and see how that goes. Okay, so everything's dried. So now I've got the stone colour effect that I want. I'm now going to do the cement joints. I've actually done some already just to try it out. I'm quite happy with it at the minute. Again, everything will be torn down, so it's just the initial of getting some in the actual joints. So I've mixed it very wet. So it goes in, and then once I'm happy with it's all in there, all I do is get a piece of tissue, dab it back off the main stone, and now you've got some effect of like a sandstone cement. I'll carry on again now, get this side done for you. And just dab it off. There we go. So just the front to do now. Do that and then let it dry again. So I've added a little bit of grey now to the front of the stone, just to tone it down again a little bit. And also, what I'm doing now is I've just got a little bit of a black wash, and I'm just running it down into the joints at the bottom. And it'll run itself then. You can see a few at the top. Just weathers it even more. Just think a little bit of joint discoloration is going to look pretty good. So I'm going to add, obviously I'm going to add, eventually I'll add moss to it, weathering powders. Obviously, they're the weathering powders. WWS, bit of black soot, green moss maybe. I think Sam at Peaks 47. Obviously, you know, he's a good friend of mine. I think he mixes the green moss with a little bit of concrete dust to tone it down. So I'll probably just try a little bit of a method like that. Just do a sample on something else, just to see, just to get the tones right, really. So I think I'm going to leave it at that now, just to let everything dry, and then I can start adding some finer detail. So I'm now going to basically weather this up with smoke damage with the WWS weathering powders. If you don't own any of these powders, it is a must that you do. They are amazing. Got a good range of colours, and I believe, talking to Martin, that they are going to be having some more colours. So I've got light rust, dark rust, green moss, and obviously the black soot, which is amazing. So once I've done this and applied all this, then I'll put a sealer on it to hold it in place. Yeah, quite effective. I'm going to get it a little bit darker over the windows. As you can see, it does have a great effect. I've actually put some on the inside now on the render. Obviously that were like a terracotta colour, but I've now gone over it because again it will be smoke damaged, blown plaster. So I've now actually got that part done. When this is sat in place, I'll probably, well I will, there's no probably about it, I'll add some mosses and bits of greenery up the walls, and that'll do probably more when it's in place. So I've actually now cut my timbers up and stained them first in the brown wash. Obviously I'll darken these up now because they'll be charred and burnt. Sorry about the iPad pinging away then, probably the news. Yeah, I'll darken that up as if it's just burnt to ribbons and broken, snapped, and so yeah, we'll do that on the next stage. I've actually now cut some balsa from this, and I've cut it 3 times. Well, I've cut it into 3 sections down the length. Last night I put just a wash on, a brown wash, and now I'm actually adding some WWS soot, just to darken it down even more, just to look so it's like been burnt. I'll have different shades of this, and then probably some with some like white on, so that it looks charcoaled. Well, that's the one I'm using for this. Then with some of them, what I've done before I actually painted them, I'll show you, I actually snap them so I can use them in pieces again, so it looks like bomb damage. Then obviously after this stage, then I'll just put a matte lacquer on them just to seal everything in. So yeah, now that bit's done. I'll do a few of them, probably about 20 of those. So what happened yesterday was, after I'd finished doing the filming and I'd got to this stage, I took it downstairs, just basically to show the other half it, and I put it on the sofa, which is light grey, and got weathering powder on it. So I went to the cupboard, got the vacuum cleaner out. On the way back with the vacuum cleaner, I stood on the model and broke it. After all that. Anyway, I've managed to salvage it, and to be fair, it's fine. But anyway, onward and upward. I'm going to end this little bit here now, and then try and progress with staging it a little bit and putting some extra detail in. Okay, so the pieces of timber I weathered, I've now darkened them down a little bit, and I progressed to stick them on, pieces through the windows, the doors, debris inside, which is still gluing at the minute. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the appearance of that. Now I don't want to do too much more with it until I actually sit it into place on the hill where it's going to be going. Now that I haven't even formed yet, but I thought I'd get this done for a change from doing a little bit of scenery. But yeah, hopefully you'll agree that it's not turned out too bad, especially after the disaster yesterday when I stood on it. But hey-oh, that's it with modelling. More often than not you can recover from it. But yeah, any comments or advice would be welcomed. Anything you would have done different. But yeah, anyway, if you like the video, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching.